Our first story, and over 100 graduates from the country's public universities will from today picket at the entrance of Ghana's Education Ministry to protest the lack of job opportunities. The graduates, many of whom completed school over 5 years ago, lamented that several efforts to secure job opportunities have so far proved futile. The graduates under the umbrella body, Graduate Initiative Africa, say the Education Ministry and the Ghana Education Service have failed Ghanaian students. An executive of the Graduate Initiative Africa, Prince Chumasi, said government over the years has not given graduates the necessary support. He suggested that since government was unwilling to create the needed platform for graduates to channel the resources, then government should be ready to empower them. And this is the second group of unemployed graduates which have cropped up to fight job placement in the country.
Family members of those who were killed in the tragedy shooting accident at the coronation in the central region are demanding release of their bodies so they can start with their funeral rites, even as investigation continues into the incident. They also want support from government, particularly for one of the deceased, 40-year-old Kojo Nyago, who left behind a pregnant wife and 6 children.
According to the family of Kojo Nyago, the deceased was the breadwinner whose loss will be greatly felt, especially by the immediate relatives. 4 persons were killed in Saturday's musketry during the installation of the chief of Isachir, Nana Isel. 2 others who were injured, one in critical condition, are at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. According to eyewitnesses, 60-year-old Anthony Forsen fired the gun that caused the tragedy. One of the only 2 females who was hit is said to have been treated and discharged.
Me buy now we see more community center na one ounce one information there obi tutuma sana nkofo oka nkofo enu enum no so no abasa wa hwere won kwa ma aka edin so ye wo na wasa announce bi the cross way from waka kwa
Meanwhile, the Central Regional Minister Samuel Sapong, during a visit to the bereaved families, has warned the public to desist from using live ammunition during such celebrations, indicating that anyone who flouts the directive would be dealt with according to the law.
Since I don't know, I sure said, suppose if we Niman Tentaba, also the court to give for advice. Now, told you, the beginning of a accident, the Baruko Woko. A final class. It is a crab, me, I can't say, Mr. Moore. Yeah, Busha for Mefasa Conyas Babayako. Now, Master said, Assembly also. Any friend say a bush for one from 1 year, any kita na Nippon won't see a moon near you, assembly and get involved.
The culprit, who is in police custody, is expected to be charged. Georgina Pierce report for Joy News.
The Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association, GOPSA, they have petitioned the Minister of Health and the Chief of Staff to deal with their outstanding concerns with the interim current market premiums before scrapping the existing one. The Ghana Statistical Service has started a planned market survey to assess critical skills to inform a new policy. The Labour Market Survey will seek to value critical skills in government and quasi-government institutions. Government statistician Dr. Philomena Nyakon said the survey will also reduce growing labour agitations. However, Chairman of GOPSA, Stephen Kokwe, said 6 months after GOPSA called off its 2-month strike, their concerns have still not been addressed. Mr. Kokwe, in the absence of a quick resolution to their challenges, said they will call a national executive meeting to decide their next line of action.
The Textile Workers Union wants government to allow the anti-piracy task force on textile, which was suspended about a month ago, to resume operations immediately. Explained the decision to ask him to stop their clampdown with ill advice. At a news conference on the issue, the news said the jobs of its members are threatening for as long as the operations of task force remain suspended.
President John Mahama, following pleas from traders affected by the operations of the anti-piracy task force, called for its temporary suspension.
I'm going to ask the Minister of Trade to allow a moratorium of the work of the piracy task force in order that together with the market queens, they can carry out education to the women about the effect that pirated textiles have on our textile industries. If they can spend another 3 months and go to all the markets and educate the women, show them the different types of textiles and how to determine the pirated textiles so that the women are aware that, you're not allowed to do this. I think that it should help the situation.
But the General Secretary of the Textile Workers Union, Abraham Kumson, has challenged the claims, insisting that the Trade Ministry distorted the facts presented to the President.
He has been misinformed. It means that the President was not told the truth. Our concern is to help us to tell the government that what the women are doing is not in the interest of the state. What the Ministry of Trade is doing is also not helping at all, because they are condoning in illegalities. The complicity of government is very clear, because we are talking about illegalities. And we say no.
According to him, the operations of the illegal importers and their dealers are bringing the textile companies down to their knees and threatening jobs in the process.
The losses reflect on the workforce. And as I've been saying, an industry that used to employ close to 30,000, 25,000 to 30 million in the 80s. Now we have less than 3,000. Okay, so it's a clear indication that something has gone amiss. Suddenly, if we have to stop the activities at its task force, it's really unfortunate.
The union, meanwhile, insists it is not against textile imports, but rather against the imitation of trademarks and logos of local firms, an infringement of their intellectual property rights. Matilda Pamaga for Joy News, Accra.
The Adenta Municipal Assembly is proposing some changes to its redevelopment plan for the aviation lands in the municipality, where some occupants clashed with the police in a demolition exercise last week. Among the proposals was an increase in the land allocated to the assembly. One person was killed during the demolition exercise to make way for the project estimated to cost more than $10 billion.
The consultants for the project, the consortium, said to be working for government, moved in last week to evict the occupants of the vast stretch of land said to be about 640 acres. The deceased is said to have been killed in an exchange of gunfire with the police who were providing cover for the exercise. Originally acquired for the use of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, the vast land was gradually being taken over by auto mechanics, container shops, carpenters, as well as some churches. The consortium says the plan for the project will accommodate a suburban commercial center along with housing which aims to help decongest the central business district of Accra. But the assembly also has some ideas of its own and is yet to approve the project, which falls within its jurisdiction.
The presiding member made it very clear that the Adenta Municipal Assembly, and for that matter, assembly members, were never against the project, taking into consideration the inputs assembly also raised, because they said at least the portion of land being earmarked for the assembly should be increased a bit, because the assembly is a new assembly and the future development activities will require more land. Then also a local content should be taken into account. The traditional authority should be specifically told this is how much land you will be taking, so that they know, as it were, it is just the allocation on paper.
The former municipal chief executive has been named as one who gave the go-ahead for the demolition of the illegal structures on the land. But this, the coordinating director of the assembly could not confirm.
The former MCE did not order any demolition. And for that matter, the assembly did not order any demolition. As you're already aware, assembly only went out to inform the squatters there to make way for a national project that is going to take place there. As to who ordered the demolition, I know the former MCE didn't, and that is how it is.
The coordinating director appealed to the squatters to relocate to pave way for work to begin on the project.
The 60th Biennial Conference of Commonwealth Hansard Editors Association has been opened in Accra. The 6-day conference will engage delegates on methods used by Hansard's department within various parliaments in the light of changes in the technology and governance system.
The conference will afford African delegates the opportunity to share experiences and exchange ideas on how to report on contemporary parliamentary proceedings. Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, Edward Doe Ajaho, in his keynote address, lauded the essence of the Hansard and charged both African and UK delegates to contribute positively to deliberations.
I believe that during your deliberations, you will explore the challenges and responsibilities that you face on day-to-day basis in maintaining the traditional Hansard hallmarks of accuracy and impartiality. I do hope that deliberations at this conference will produce nothing short of appreciable results.
Doe Ajaho further reiterated the need to increase the human resource capacity of the Hansard Society in Ghana in order to strengthen parliamentary democracy and encourage greater public involvement in politics. President of Commonwealth Hansard Editors Association in Africa, Akim Umusanda, commended Ghana for her proverbial hospitality and highlighted on some core issues that will come up for discussion at the conference.
The 6th Year Africa Vision Conference seemed evolving parliaments. Hansard meeting the challenges is an opportunity for sharing space with ideas, reviewing the progress made by the parliaments presented here. I wish to appeal to my colleagues, fellow participants, to take this meeting seriously and participate actively in all the sessions.
Some delegates spoke to the news team about their expectations.
I've come here to network with fellow colleagues, Hansard editors from other Commonwealth African countries. I intend to network so that together we can sit down and see the problems within our parliaments, and we can find solutions together that work for us.
The Shelter for Abused Children is making a desperate plea for inmates who have been in its care for some time now to be claimed by their parents. Most parents, according to the authorities at the shelter, were refusing to go in for their children, even though they were aware they were housed at the shelter because a lot of the inmates may have one medical condition or the other. But Georgina Mensah, who heads the center, says it is encumbered. It is encumbered with two challenges, which makes the upkeep of the inmates virtually impracticable.
Shelter for the abused, the facility houses other distressed children. They are victims of trafficking, juvenile offenders of the law, and also a junior correctional center for girls. Francisca is one of the few children at the shelter who can express herself. She explains how she got here.
My mother traveled, then said I should not get out. I and my sisters, the time it was Christmas, they said we should get out. The time we get, then I went and lost, and a man bring me here. When I go, maybe then I'll go and lost again. So like I want my mother to come. The man will bring my mother here.
Others are trafficked children who manage to escape from their masters when they can no longer bear their conditions. The rest find their way to the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit of the Ghana Police Service, which in turn brings them here for shelter. Another inmate, Kekeli, understands nothing and can't also speak a word. He cannot sit either. That's why we found him lying on our visit.
This boy was brought from Isawam. He cannot talk. I think he has learning challenges. He cannot give you any meaningful information about himself. He behaves a little bit abnormally.
Kekeli nods as if he understands all that's happening around him. Some of them are hyperactive, whilst others have autistic traits. Georgina Mensah believes most parents know their children are here.
Children can always be corrected. Even for those who have committed offenses, we are here, we are showing them love, and we expect their families, their biological families, to team up with us so that we try to reform these children. And then for the abused ones, some, because they have challenges, physical and mental challenges, they have been neglected by their families. We have been placing them on TV, and we know that their families see them. We want to appeal to them to come for them so that we will link them to resources where the children can get to lead better lives in future.
Most of the children here have similar stories, though they are unable to narrate them. Like many government institutions, the Shelter for Abused Children and Correctional Center is fraught with many challenges, with funding being the most serious.
The government tries to do its best, but that is not enough. We want civil society to also come to our aid and help us take care of these children.
Sources close to the institution tell Joy News food allowance for a quarter is 300 cedis, a paltry amount which apparently never comes in good time. It is obvious with all these challenges, the facility will be unable to provide the much-needed solace that these young ones deserve. That's why the authorities are desperately reaching out to parents out there to come for their children, with the promise to assist them raise the children rather than completely abandoning them at the shelter. That's only by name. Gifty Andopia, Joy News, Osu, Accra.
One unique characteristic, perhaps one most commercial vehicles and canoes in the country, are inscriptions and symbols that are embossed on them by their owners. These inscriptions, though may seem funny, have various philosophical meaning that transcends all facets of life. Perhaps you have seen a few and wondered what they meant. Well, Justice Faustina Yajimfa have been finding out more.
The shoreline of Jamestown in Accra is never without one form of activity or the other. Being a predominantly fishing community, the activities of fisher folks can hardly be overlooked. Several fishing canoes and boats adorn the coastline of the community. Their aesthetic appeal and the various high-flying colorful flags make them a noticeable feature for any first-time visitor. The culture of these fishermen, just like any other community, is to decorate their boats and canoes with various symbols, totems, and flags. Each local boat is identified with a particular name or a set of symbols displayed predominantly on the flags or boats. Common names found on some of these boats include Eradikasa, Dromona, I Beg You God, God is Love, and Abua Onidria, amongst others.
Abua Onidria, the name no planning.
Why did you pick that?
Oh, it's the God. Numo, Mugobe,
Well, this particular boat had the inscription, My Redeemer liveth. Though it is misspelled, for the owner, the meaning still stands. But these words of wisdom, hope, belief, expression of frustration and advice to others are not just written by the fishermen. The words really mean something to them and have effects on their business.
ni osofo sole hwe no no kwa ma lele no aka ma no keke e ko fe ko ni ma no aka ma no ni esamofo jin ana ya ka mkwa ni ya we ba ne le into mfe si mkwa ni edwen o he fon no o he fon de dwon he wo kwa ma no ko kesa na ka di mofo ba ne ba ti no e ke ekun ese.
The small flags, which comes in different colors and symbols, according to some of them, represent their gods and clans in the community. For some, it is a mode of identifying their boats from the others. But the other effect of carving the boats to give it an aesthetic appeal also has a diverse effect, as Nikwe prefers just painting his boat, as carving the boat leads to early deterioration.
Okay, no newo nkadi kadimo be pie ke o kadi efiti olele. Ora be pie tumono na manifest ama elele chuem. Ona niga ama elele chuem, elele chuem nigi le sanga vimbe wo ba no yi. Shi board ani ma ele no, le wo jio eno. No be tenega afi be sani ama wo board mi ona gbe ni first ama wo lele chuem. No lele chue esa ni nogo yole ni kenogo gbule no be wana kolo bibi ko meje amen pele be wana egbu kemolele chue.
Indeed, African names have such great meanings and influences on lives, work and businesses. So the next time you are setting up a business or thinking of venturing into the fishing business like our folks here at Jamestown, you might want to consider carefully and thoughtfully the local name you would like your business to be associated with.
Well, so that will be it for the news for the morning. But in the meantime, let's just run you down with our top stories for the morning. Over 100 graduates from the country's universities will from today picket at the entrance of the Education Ministry to protest the lack of job opportunities here in Ghana.
And the Textile Workers Union wants government to allow the anti-piracy task force on textile, which was suspended about a month ago, to resume operations immediately.
So those are the headlines we have for the morning. In the meantime, next we bring you sports. It's brought to you by Tigo. So we now bring you sports. It's brought to you by Tigo. Well, so straight away, the local Black Stars claimed all the spoils in a scrappy victory over Congo, the African Nations Championship in South Africa this afternoon. That was not this afternoon. That was on Monday afternoon. And Theophilus Anoban's effort in the 34th minute was deflected into the post, with Congolese goalkeeper Moyaki left beaten in the opening Group C fixture at the competition, reserved for only home-based players on the continent. And we bring you next some of the highlights.
For the senior side, taking them to the World Cup. So they're giving the second in charge a chance here for them to see what they got in Delali. So ball played on the far side, cleared away this time by Ghana. Kobena Odisei, 26-year-old from Accra in Ghana, plays for Santa Kotoko. His 11th care for his country. Emmanuel Nkodia, long one penalty area, cleared away this time by Saka. Falls short, a shot taken. Teammate. Now it's a long one played in, cleared alongside, and cleared away, collected again by Congo. Shot taken, deflected away of the Ghana. Let's have a look at this goalkeeper. That is man for AC Leopard. Now shot taken. Now chance in it, just wide. Does it really get things to stand in Ghana when the two do play? Chance in deflected off. Oh! It is the opening goal. Unexpectedly so, he was not taking a shot, was trying to go around his marker.
So you can see, we really didn't score that goal, did we? But meanwhile, the Sports Writers Association of Ghana has revealed the Sports Personality Award for the 2013 period, scheduled for May, to be contested for by Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah and Stars captain Asamoah Suleiman Tari. Kweja Asamoah and Asamoah make the shortlist for Football Category of the Year. Well,
Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah will be contesting his team captain Asamoah Gyan for the flagship SWAG Personality of the Year award to be handed out in May. The award is an annual accolade given to the most impressive athlete in the year under review by the Sports Writers Association of Ghana. Appiah was nominated alongside the Black Stars skipper and female weightlifting sensation Juliana Aku. The Black Stars coach has already been considered as the overwhelming favorite for the prestigious award following his historical qualification of the side to the 2014 World Cup. The ex-Asante Kotoko defender will, however, pick up the non-competitive category of the Coach of the Year award. The Footballer of the Year award is being contested by Suleiman Tari, Asamoah Gyan and Kwadwo Asamoah. Janet Eyiyam would also be awarded the Female Footballer of the Year for her outstanding performance with the Ghana and the 17 female team.
Cristiano Ronaldo, who plays for Portugal and also his club Real Madrid, has won this year's Ballon d'Or award held last night. And Real Madrid winger ousted Barcelona's Lionel Messi and Bayern Munich's Frank Ribéry to win the award. It was Ronaldo's second time winning the prestigious award, previously made the recipient in 2008 when he was playing for Manchester United. Ronaldo, who played second in Ballon d'Or voting in 2007, 2009, 2011 and 2012, won this year's award after scoring a sensational 55 goals for Real Madrid. During that stint, he nabbed 5 hat-tricks in club play against Getafe, Galatasaray and Real Sociedad, and 2 on the international stage for Portugal against Northern Ireland and against Sweden. We'll now bring you some of the assets from yesterday's event.
The name is ambition, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, you didn't see the parts about him tearing, you know, the macho Cristiano Ronaldo tearing. It doesn't happen in Africa. Yeah. Forget. That's it for sports. It's brought to you by Tigo Cash.